Oh, man. Check out this miracle in the Middle East. It is the Surf Abu Dhabi Longboard Classic presented by Modon. This is the preview show, and this is a state-of-the-art wave facility here in Abu Dhabi. An incredible spot, incredible hosting here, and we got an incredible squad here for the preview show. Matt Chinoski, Sam Bleakley. Sam, so excited to be here. Stop number 3. I mean, we're breaking barriers here. We're setting history. This is the first ever professional surf contest in the UAE.
Absolutely. Classic style meets innovation in the desert. This will become a bucket list spot for all surfers around the world, and it's a joy to be here.
Amazing. We've had a chance to sample the facility. We've seen the warm-up sessions. Matt, it's an amazing facility.
Yeah, they've really rolled out the red carpet for us here. The longboarders are feeling incredibly privileged to be here. They know history is in the making. The waves are pumping, and it's guaranteed that these surfers are going to score, and that's always a good feeling.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our schedule. This is stop number 3 on the World Longboard Tour. Remember, top 8 men, top 8 women. They're going to be vying for a world title there at Surf City El Salvador Longboard Championships. But first, we got to get some qualification done here in Abu Dhabi, Sam.
Absolutely. We got 4 spots remaining for the men. We got 4 surfers already guaranteed that spot in El Salvador. We've got 5 spots remaining for the women. So the stakes are high. A winner here can make it all the way to those grand finals in El Salvador.
Yeah, so many things. And you know what? The fine-tuning and getting used to this wave system, Matt, has been really what's been on the schedule for the last couple of days. Let's take a look at some of the practice sessions that have gone down so far in the basin.
You see here, this is Chloe Coleman, who got things started there, and they've all had their warm-up waves, and this one would have been about the 6th warm-up wave for Chloe, and Elise Lemoyne behind her, one of the standouts. Definitely some of these surfers going down in the earlier practice sessions, but as you see, as they started to warm up, Honolulu Bloomfield, who was the champ in 2021 at the Surf Ranch, and Khalees Kaliopata, smooth as always, but not without some wipeouts as well, Sam.
Yeah, well, they've all had 8 waves, so everybody's improved day by day, but the level of stoke emanating from the surface here has been incredible. And just follow them on Instagram and you can see this really has been a great canvas. And this point break setting, great opportunity for the nose rides combined with the turns and some tube sections.
Taking a look at our event format here, we're going to open up with 3 surfer heats. First advances into the quarterfinals. Second takes it equal 9th. Third takes it equal 17th. And Matt, surfers are going to get a couple tries at the left and the right for their heat total.
Yeah, and cutthroat. So just the winner moving forward, and that's something that we're not used to seeing. Usually it's that 50% progression that we see, but these surfers, the pressure is really starting to boil for these surfers, but they're stoked to be here.
But great new format, entertainment, 3 days compressed. Of course, that first round's going to be cutthroat, but the fact that we go to those surfer-on-surfer quarterfinals, semifinals is going to be super exciting.
One thing we know, Sam, is that the waves are perfect. Let's introduce another member of our broadcast team, AJ McCord. She's out on the surfer's deck.
Thanks so much, Kaipo. Yeah, why not go straight to the source here, Tony? You've had a few days to get ready here at Surf Abu Dhabi. Tell me about your experience so far.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, the opportunity to be able to set up for the barrel section and have some nice nose riding and be real versatile and have some nice rail turns and keep that continuous flow. It's going to be really an interesting event. I feel like everybody here has had 8 waves and we're all excited and we're ready to start off the event.
Well, and we know in a place like this, 8 waves is incredible. But in terms of preparing for how you're going to compete, how confident do you feel in the line that you're setting, or are you going to go out and feel it out?
Yeah, I'm going to go out there and just give it my best shot. And it's been a lot of preparation of finding the right board and your wax, the texture, how hot it is out, staying hydrated. But overall, the most important thing is having fun.
Well, we cannot wait to see it. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, that's going to be the mindset coming in, Matt, is the surfers know what's coming their way. Now, that would, on the table, think that this should be easy, but actually there's an added pressure mentally because you only get 2 chances.
Yeah, and some of those surfers are really going to thrive under the microscope. There's real technicians on this Longboard World Tour, as we've seen them in the smoother, cleaner conditions, but maybe their wave IQ at some spots like Bells and Huntington being a beach break has been off, but here they could go from almost last to first. And that's the exciting thing about this format as well.
Yeah, and listening there to Tony, he's going to be coming up against Frenchman Edouard Del Pero, who took the win the last time these surfers got the opportunity to compete in Lemoore, California on this Kelly Slater technology.
Yeah. Del Pero is going to be one to look out for. We're making history here in Abu Dhabi, but we kick this thing off with a never been done before. I'm talking about Sebastian Alvarez, Red Bull skydiver, Chilean surfer. The way he entered the water here has never been done before. You got to check this out.
Honestly, the hardest part of this was to match the beginning of the wave when I was landing at a really high speed. And honestly, to do that, I went before to the wave and talked to the engineer. So I did the timing since when the engineer pressed the bottom in order to the foil start moving or the sequence of the wave start until the wave was really properly a wave. So from that gap, it was 50 seconds from when he pushed the bottom until the wave is on the, probably I think it was the white flag. So when you catch the wave, those are 50 seconds. So what I did is I always do the same pattern with my parachute and my sky surf. So I end up realizing that I was always at 2,200 feet. So what I have here, it was the same what I have now, but in my chest, I have a communication system that it was straight to the engineer. So when my altimeter shows 2,200 feet, I was always saying, wave. And then they press the bottom, and then I do the same pattern all the time, and I was able to catch the wave. So it's way more complicated. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I was ahead or behind 1 second, and it kind of like make it a little bit difficult, but good thing we did the right work and the right homework and the math, and it worked.
Seba, that was incredible, managing his velocity and having to manage that synchronicity, Sam, to pull this off. What a feat.
Talk about right on time. And that's something so interesting moving into this event. The surfers know when their wave is coming, and that puts that extra level of anticipation and anxiety, and it really has a lot of pressure on the surfers.
Oh yeah, the heartbeat starts fluttering as soon as you get that countdown here at the wave pool. We got more on the way. We're going to talk about some of our top seeds when we return to the preview show here at the Surf Abu Dhabi Longboard Classic. Abu Dhabi. Welcome back to the preview show for the Abu Dhabi Longboard Classic presented by Modon. Taking a look at today's schedule. We have it all timed. There's a play clock here for all of the heats. We're going to be starting at 2:03 local time with heat number 1. Kaniala Stewart, Chase Leader, and Nacho Piganato, Kaipo Guerrero, along with Matt Shanosky and Sam Bleakley. And the schedule is set in stone. So we're going to go through 8 heats of that men's opening round today, Matt.
Yeah, some exciting heat matchups. I can't wait for pretty much every matchup, but the Tony Silvani, Kai Hamasi, Edouard Del Pero is one that I'm looking at. Edouard won at the Surf Ranch, but Kai Hamasi really haven't seen him come into his own. I feel like this could be his breakout event.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of the youngsters. Chase Leader, he's been looking fresh, but Kevin Scavana has been really icy, smooth, cool. The goofy footer, I feel as if there's a little bit of magic to the left here, and will it be an opportunity for the goofy footers to shine?
I agree with you on seeing what Kevin's been able to do so far. Just as a note, we're going to have a break between heat number 4 and heat number 5 in this opening round of competition. Coming into this event, Matt, though, there's a guy that's been unbeaten in 2024. I'm talking about Taylor Jensen.
Yeah, he's been on absolute tear throughout the event, and we saw him just lift to a new level at Bells Beach. And I tell you what, at Huntington, he's almost unbeatable on any given day. But when you see him out there against his competitors, he's just on another level.
Here's our scenarios right here, Sam. Like you said, we already have 4 spots of the 8 spots taken for the men.
Yeah, no pressure for TJ, the big man, going for his 4th world title, but also an opportunity for JR Esquivel, Skindog Ben Skinner, and John Michael Van Hoyenstein, Johnny the Ripper, to move up the rankings and have a higher seed for that winner-takes-all 2024 world titles in El Salvador.
Yeah, it's been a year for Taylor Jensen. The big man was very, very versatile, coming from the cold waters of Bells Beach for a win, and then to the beach break conditions here, Matt, at Huntington Beach for his second win in 2024, going back-to-back.
Yeah, and it's hard to really put the finger on why he didn't progress any further in the world title rankings in previous years, because his surfing has really been on point. But I think he's just looking fresh, he's looking relaxed. His combination of the rail turns, the footwork, and I think the waves have been really conducive to Taylor's size. So it'd be good to see him here at the Surf Ranch with no pressure.
And over his career, versatility has been a hallmark of Taylor's surfing. He's a great all-rounder, all conditions, all boards, riding this 9.6 singleton model that he's developed with Stu Kenson, and that really has inspired him to go for that 4th world title.
I'm telling you right now that, someone like Taylor, even though he doesn't need a win here, he's going to be ultra dangerous, because the way he's able to throw around his board and on this perfect canvas here, he's got to be one of the favorites, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just, you'll see in the event and in the warm-up waves, there's a couple little kinks there, a little bit of wind can get into it as well. So there is elements of the ocean out there, and Taylor, he'll be able to manhandle that board around with his extra weight and his control. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts against some of the smaller, more petite surfers on the tour.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of board design starts to shine. Those surfers with more reactive, pulled-in, speedier shapes versus those surfers riding perhaps slower boards. But we've seen all kinds of boards looking good so far. So for me, what's really interesting is the fact we're counting the left and we're counting the right. So those 4 rides for the round, the top left and the top right. So you've really got to do it both ways to really stand a chance of staying in the event.
Yeah, so well, we talked about the men. Now it's time to talk about the ladies. To talk about the women. And we have 3 spots there in the scenarios already sewn up. Matt, here is our scenarios for the women. 5 spots open here to be taken in Abu Dhabi, but we're going to see Soleil Errico, Rachel Tilley, and Natsumi Toka in El Salvador.
Yeah, 2 names that we don't see at that upper end of the rankings very often. And Soleil, not here at the moment, but Rachel, she's been looking good in the free surfs, and Natsumi always got to be up there.
Yeah, big shout out to Soleil. She just got a mild minor knee injury, so she's pretty confident she's going to be there in El Salvador. She didn't want to miss this event, but Rachel Tilley and Natsumi Teoka, they have an opportunity to get that 1st or 2nd seed with a big win here.
Yeah, that's right. We know that Soleil will either be the number 1 or number 2 seed going into El Salvador. We got so many scenarios to talk about, and we want to talk about a 3-time world champ who has not got her invite yet to El Salvador, but she could be on her way. I'm talking about Honolua Bloomfield. Look at her performance here, Matt. This was in 2021 at the Surf Ranch. Honolua was magic in Lemoore.
And it's really interesting because Honolua, whose wave IQ, it just stands out. She's a natural in the ocean, and she adapts so well to the wave pool. That switch barrel, that set the longboard world on fire, and that made huge news around the world.
Best basin longboard wave of all time. I mean, that went viral, that clip. The switch stance barrel, the hang tens, she was absolutely incredible.
Now, I think one thing we can say about a wave system is the more reps you have at it, because it's the same wave, the more chances you have to elevate your performance. We look at Honolua Bloomfield. She's certainly one of the surfers in the field who's had ridden the most basically KS waves out of the on the women's side.
Absolutely, and that's why she felt comfortable to go into that switch stance in the final as well. And throughout the free surf, she's actually been playing with that switch as well. She's on a new board though, something she hasn't actually ridden in the ocean. So testing that here, there's a couple of things that she's been working on, so it'll be interesting to see how she adapts.
And Sam, I think that brings up an interesting point when we talk about Lemoore and the KS Waveco there, and this KS Waveco technology over here. Lemoore, freshwater. This is actually saltwater in this basin.
Yeah, so there's that feel of being in the ocean, a little more connectivity, a little difference in buoyancy in boards. But the unique offering with this hydrofoil system is that the wave energy doesn't dissipate. So tempo on the ride, you don't have to do it all at the beginning. You really have to make that whole ride count. It has a full point break feel.
And Point Break is the setting that is going to be the playing field at Surf Abu Dhabi. Let's take a look at our opening heat for the men's opening round. Remember, only first place moves on. Chase Leader looks like he's ready, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. He's full of motivation. He doesn't hide his passion as well. Wears his heart on his sleeve, and that's what we love about Chase. He was out to a roaring 3rd place, a career best finish there at Huntington, and he'll be taking on Nacho, who hasn't really shined this year, and he's been looking good in the free surf though as well.
Great boards on display. We've got the Neko Cabone New Advance from Brazil, Sao Paulo, under the feet of the Uruguayan. We've got the Michael Takeyamas under the feet of Chase Leader, and of course Connie Ellis Stewart riding board shaped by our reigning world champion Kai Salas from Hawaii.